ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
Governor Gavin Newsom is in the fight for his political life as voters across California head to the polls to decide his fate in a hotly contested recall election.
The contrast and the stakes could not be higher.
The outcome potentially with national implications. Stay with ABC 10 News throughout the evening. You're going to hear from voters along with the candidates vying to replace Newsom as we await the results from this recall election.
Now, ABC 10 News special coverage of the governor recall vote.
It's election day in California, and voters across the state are deciding whether to remove Governor Gavin Newsom from office, and if so, who should replace him. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Those polls close in just 3 hours at 8 o'clock. 46 candidates are vying to replace the governor, including 2 from right here in San Diego. We have a team of reporters fanned out throughout the county to bring you live coverage this evening, but we begin with our ABC 10 News anchor, Lindsay Pena, who is joining us live from the Registrar of Voters Office. Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right, Steve and Kim. We have seen a steady stream of people coming to drop off their ballots. There's actually a little drive-through set up here, and people have actually been going inside to cast their ballots in person on this historic election day. Now, if you'll recall, this is only the second time that a California governor has actually been recalled. Back in 2003, it was Gray Davis, and that attempt was actually successful. We spoke to Gray Davis today, and we're going to let you hear what he had to say coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we want to talk a little bit about voter turnout, because that may be absolutely crucial in this election. We spoke earlier to some of the voters who were showing up here to get their thoughts.
I think what's at stake is everybody's right to have their opinion heard, to have their voices heard, regardless of how you feel. That is one of the great things about America, is having your voice heard. And so I think that's what the most important thing.
As you mentioned, we have a team of reporters all over San Diego County. I want to toss now to Rachel Bianco. She actually has more on voter turnout here in San Diego County. Rachel.
Hi, Lindsay. We're at the North Claremont Recreation Center, where it's actually been pretty busy the last few minutes with people going in to cast their ballot, possibly waiting till they got out of work. But most people have already voted, and they did so by mail. But there are still hundreds of places across the county where you can vote in person or drop off a mail-in ballot. Election officials tell us an overwhelming majority, nearly 80% of registered voters in the county, is a permanent vote-by-mail voter. Turnout is expected to be high, around 70%, which is a little higher than it was during the 2003 recall election. We spoke with several voters today who say they like the tradition of casting their ballot in person. Most have strong feelings about the recall.
His kids got to go to school while other people's kids didn't, and a lot of other reasons.
California is as blue a state as possible, and it's obviously a big ploy by the Republicans just to be a nuisance.
Some people told us they are worried about voter fraud, and that's why they wanted to vote in person. The first batch of results is expected shortly after the polls close tonight at 8, but the final unofficial election night results may not come in until around 1 o'clock this morning. Reporting live in Claremont, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
All right, thank you, Rachel. I want to go now to my colleague Derek Stahl. He is in the ABC 10 News Live Center with more on Governor Newsom's fight to fend off one of his top challengers, Larry Elder. Derek.
Yeah, both the governor and the conservative talk show host are really trying to position this race as a two-person head-to-head matchup. For his part, Larry Elder called in a pinch hitter today. He tapped former Dodgers Hall of Fame catcher Mike Piazza. He revealed an endorsement from Piazza on his Twitter page today. If I try to play this, I hope I can. You can hear the sound. Let's take a listen. All right, well, Piazza's basically saying that when he got to California, all his friends were talking about wanting to move here.
That's all my friends talked about, was moving to California. And now everyone talks about is moving out of California. Larry Elder wants to change this. He's a man who deeply loves California and will bring back the California dream.
So that's the closing argument there from Piazza and the Elder camp, that Elder can help restore the California dream. Meantime, Governor Newsom was out in San Francisco campaigning today, calling on his supporters to reject the recall effort. Let's take a listen to what Governor Newsom had to say.
Our job is not done until we remind people the imperative importance of meeting this moment and rejecting the cynicism, rejecting the xenophobia, rejecting the nativism, rejecting the cynicism that defines this moment.
Governor Newsom said that Elder's promise to rescind vaccination requirements and mask rules make this election a life or death decision. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
All right, thanks, Derek. And one, of course, the Republican challengers is former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer. He's actually going to be watching those results right here in San Diego County tonight. And our ABC 10 News reporter Ryan Hill is there. Ryan.
Yeah, Lindsay, the San Diego former mayor says that he has a proven ability to work with both the right and the left of those who are on the political spectrum, and that's something that he has been saying on the campaign trail. Faulconer says that that's something that he does plan to bring to office if he is chosen as the replacement candidate for Governor Newsom, and also bringing his experience of reducing homelessness as our city's mayor. During his campaign, Faulconer has stopped by the East Village to see the work that's being done with the San Diego Police Department, adding that he would take the same approach that he had as San Diego's mayor to the state level to reduce homelessness.
The fact that we've set up our shelter system in San Diego, we enforced no tents on the sidewalk while I was mayor, because we care about people. We care about people to get them off the streets. I'm going to take that exact same approach, because when I see what I see here behind me with our California state property, our freeway overpasses, underpasses, that's happening all across California.
Faulconer says that he is proud of what they were able to do during his time of mayor to address homelessness in the area, and plans to take whatever is missing at the state level to office if he is chosen as the recall candidate, and that experience as the mayor of here in San Diego. Reporting live here in Point Loma, Ryan Hill, ABC 10 News. Back to you, Lindsay.
All right, thank you so much, Ryan. And of course, another Republican candidate with local ties is businessman John Cox, who will also be here in San Diego County tonight. Laura Acevedo is with his party. Laura.
Hi, Lindsay. Yes, and we just within the last hour actually spoke to John Cox. He was here in Rancho Santa Fe. Now, he tells me that he feels hopeful about tonight, and he hopes that the voters will agree with the recall and that he is the best candidate for the state. So again, we are here in Rancho Santa Fe, where John Cox is expected to address the media sometime after 8 p.m. We know that he is going to watch the returns as they come in from his home and then come back here to this location. As you mentioned, Lindsay, Cox is a local businessman here in town, and he was actually the runner-up to the gubernatorial race back in 2018. Now, Cox's campaign has not been without controversy. He faced backlash and is even dealing with a lawsuit for his use of a live bear during the campaign trail while here in San Diego County. Now, if elected, he is calling for a 25% income tax reduction. And he also talked about lowering the cost of living in our state. Now, when we spoke to him a few moments ago, he says that the state has a number of problems, all of which he says he can fix.
These things are not going to change without new leadership. I've turned around businesses, you know, and the reason a business falters usually is because of just bad management. Well, you know what? The good news is you can change management.
And Cox has been trailing in the polls behind several candidates, including Larry Elder. But again, he tells us that he is feeling hopeful tonight, and he wants to wait until those actual returns start coming in. Lindsay?
All right, thank you so much, Laura. Meanwhile, Mimi Alcala is with the local Republican Party. She has more on what they're planning for tonight. Mimi.
Hi, Lindsay. Yeah, in just about 3 hours, the group Reform California and supporters will be here in Escondido. We're right off of South Escondido Boulevard, where you can see people are currently setting up for this right now. This is going to be the official Republican Party event in San Diego tonight, where they'll be watching some of those initial results coming in. Reform California, of course, is a large group that's been supporting these recall efforts. And over the last several days, volunteers have been going door to door, making phone calls and texting what Reform California says is a targeted list of more than 800,000 voters. Carl DeMaio, who's the chairman of the group, says they've used their massive grassroots movement statewide to contact voters one-on-one and encourage them to vote yes on the recall of Governor Gavin Newsom. The group reports it's made more than 2 million voter contacts so far. So again, we're expecting reaction from people here to the initial ballot results tonight around 8:30 or so. We're also told San Diego Democrats decided not to have their own watch party, saying there is no reason to celebrate this recall election. So we'll bring you that as soon as more people start coming in. For now, we're live in Escondido. I'm Mimi Alcala. Lindsay, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mimi. And of course, one of the hot button issues during this election, taxes. The candidates, of course, differing on how they would handle taxes. Earlier this year, Governor Newsom signed what he called the biggest recovery package in the state's history, including direct payments to most Californians. Larry Elder says he would work to reduce the tax burden and alleviate regulatory burdens for the middle class. John Cox has called for 25% across-the-board cuts in personal income tax. Kevin Faulconer has proposed eliminating all state income tax on single filers who make less than $50,000. Kevin Kiley said there are no tax increases he supports and says the tax burden is driving people out of the state. Meanwhile, Paffrath would eliminate state income tax on the first $250,000 earned. We are live at the San Diego County Registrar of Voters. Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News. Steve and Kim, back to you.
Yes, less than 3 hours left until those polls close, and we will continue to watch it. Thank you, Lindsay. We'll get back to you. And so what happens next if Governor Newsom does get recalled? The candidate with the most votes on the second question will win the election. County election officials have 30 days after the election to complete the official canvass. On the 38th day after the election, the Secretary of State will certify the results, and the new governor will take the oath of office. They'll serve the remainder of the term, which runs through January 2nd of 2023, and the next California gubernatorial election still takes place on its regularly scheduled date of November 8th, 2022.
And today we spoke to former Governor Gray Davis, the only California governor to ever be recalled. He talked about the mindset of being in a position similar to Governor Newsom and his prediction on whether Newsom will win it.
When you're in politics, your fate is in other people's hands, and they don't have to have a good reason to vote against you. They just, if things are not going well in their world, they're likely to vote against the incumbents. But if they think things are getting better and they're likely to improve, then they'll support incumbents. So they don't care about AB this or SB that. They care about, are my schools open? Is my child safe there? Can I and my husband go back to work in a safe environment? You know, can we support our family? Those are the things that they want politicians to worry about and talk about. I have a good feeling. Polls have been wrong before, but I think the governor has a big margin of error to work with here. So I think he wins no matter what.
And remember, 10news.com is your source for complete coverage of the recall vote. We will have coverage all day as we are right on air throughout this newscast as well as online. You can watch and stay up to date through our 10 News app. You can stream it through Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and your phone.